I created a screencast to help guide through this final, following slides to examine what I've learned this year and to explain the 3 action points that I wanted to touch base with everybody. I work at a charter school right now, and I'm lucky to be there due to the fact that it was open due to the law that passed in 1992, the Charter Act law. At our school, we have many visions. And through those visions, we've been trying to figure out what's the best to support our students' growth. We have visions from curriculum, we have visions from discipline, and recently one of our biggest visions was technology. Our vision was to be a blended learning environment. We focused on pushing technology into all of our classrooms so that students have the opportunity to learn and understand technology each and every day. With that comes the growth of technology and how teachers use it. Our teachers are always focused on being the best and motivated to be ahead of the game. Example, they came in before work week to make sure that all their websites work properly for their students to use. The focus is to maintain a well-rounded use of technology every day and making sure that the tools that are provided in their classrooms, that the teachers understand and can support our students when using them. Our students live in a blended world, so they are accustomed to technology all around them. Our staff focus on that to make sure our students have the better opportunity with technology. Online learning occurs every day, from using teachers' websites to get to Haiku to working on Empowers and accelerated math. Our students are using technology to better understand their grades, their projects, and their performance. They also have been able to use this technology to have more conversations with their teachers via email, via chats, being able to print things out and have one-on-one conversations with their teachers. At HSHMC, we have always kind of lacked a parent involvement, but I believe we still have a good culture around us. Our focus, even labeled in our LCAP, was to grow and improve in this category. We have made a start with providing family picnics and family nights to let the parents come and get involved with our school. As my first action plan out of 3, this is one of the bigger topics I'd like to talk about. It would be to continue on this trend, but to focus more of our money on this to make our parent nights a little bit better. I'd like to spend some of our ADA money and some of the Title I money that we receive and to be able to put on great family nights where we could focus on technology, where we are showing our parents how to use PowerSchool, to show them the students' grades, where we can also have other nights where parents are involved and getting feedback for us. In these nights, we would also be able to understand how many of our students and how many of our families do have technology at home, how many of them are using it at home, or how many families don't understand what their child is bringing home daily. With the focus on technology, we need to make sure everything works. We need to have fast response times. We need to make sure that students that are using this technology have it available every day in every one of their classrooms. Along with that, we need to make sure that our teachers have this technology as well, and that if something is broken or if something has not worked for them, that one of our technicians can be there within that day. I've heard too many stories where it takes 2 to 3 days for a technician to look over a computer or an iPad. Well, within our school, I believe that time frame could be only about 30 minutes. And I agree that we have some of the best technicians that make this happen. But with that, they're pulled in so many different directions that sometimes I feel like we don't have enough time for them or enough space for them. And I think that sometimes this is where some support could come in and help them. We always need to make sure that we are following our vision and making sure that technology is used in every single one of our classrooms, that students know how to use it, and that teachers are modeling how to use it the best ways. All our classrooms are accessible with some kind of technology, either computers, laptops, or iPads. Along with that, we do give out our Wi-Fi password to our students that want to use their own devices that they bring to school. When we talk about devices and we talk about things, our system that we follow is PowerSchool, and that's where we put all our information in about our students. This can be used for data-driven reviews, and we have to really focus on who's looking at this and where that information is going and how we're going to use it to support our students and support our idea and vision of technology. When looking over everything, I believe my next action plan would to be again use some of that ADA money and after school grant money that we have to hire another technician. I believe this technician should work between 10 and 6 p.m. So when our students are in the after school program, there's somebody there that knows how to use and work the technology. I'm assuming and guessing and looking at the expectations and the salaries of other teachers and technicians, the base salary for this person to start off would be taken out of our ADA and after school grant about $24,000. As teachers, when working with technology, we must make sure our teachers are having the best practices. We have to make sure that they understand that this can be looked at as their online classroom, and that we have to focus on what is being said and what is being provided in their classroom is equaled up to laws and making sure that everything's okay. When I was thinking about this and thinking about some of the things that we read about, the idea that stood out to me was academic freedom and what that looked like for teachers. The idea that popped up was Pickering First, the Board of Education, and this one really touched home with me because it was a class in one of the classrooms in Poway High School that's close to us. It was when a district asked for a teacher to remove things within his room because of what they said, and people agreed with it and made sure that it was removed. We always have to make sure that as well as our teachers are teaching, we have to give them that freedom of having what they want up and to making sure that they're getting across the message they want in the best way they can learn. At the same time, we have to think about our students and how much they're learning and how much they're getting across on social media and through technology. And we have to focus and make sure that we aren't holding them and taking away their freedoms at the same time. A great example of this was Lopez versus Tulane School District. When students wanted to show the real life action of being a teenage parent, they filmed a movie, and within this movie there was a lot of negative language and real life activities that they believed was suitable for school. When the teachers saw it and when the principals saw this, they decided that it was so negative that they had to be suspended. And when we reviewed this, this was against the rules, and they got to show and got to express themselves as students. Our school has the most accessible programs we can be possible. We allow technology to be pulled out of classrooms, be used any time of the day, before school at 6:30 all the way to after school at 6 p.m. We believe that if we're going to want technology in our classrooms, we should allow our students to use them during after school hours. We can always use growth. Each one of our students, each one of our staff members need to grow in this area. And we need to learn from one another. When we talk about professional learning, we have learned so much from our students because they're so plugged in. We need to be okay with that and have some of these growing professional developments to work with one another. We need to focus on money. We have great leaders that allow us to read where our money is going, to understand where our budget's going, to make sure that we like the ideas that are coming throughout our school. That's how technology was first pushed into our schools, because as a staff we agreed that that would be the best idea for our students so they would grow. We are in a data-driven environment. This is where we have to focus on what is working best for our students and make sure that whatever is working best, that we know how to use it, we know how to implement it, and that we keep growing as individuals. There has to be room for professional development. There has to be room for workshops and conferences. That's how the teachers learn, and that's how we become better individuals and better teachers for our students. We'll talk about funding later. There's grants, ADA, Common Core, Title I, and we'll dive into all those very. My final action plan would be to help the rest of my staff become leading edge certified. This is great for all of our staff members to have this certificate for them so they can understand technology a little bit better. As of right now, I would look at 25 teachers to go. The services cost about $450, and you can see it equals out about $11,000. At the same time, I think using that one-time Common Core money, we should send a member of each one of our departments to the next best technology conference of whatever that is or whatever they choose from. And at that, I would say we'd use about $20,000 of that money. There'd be 5 departments, 1 administrator, science, math, English, and social studies, and giving them a balance about $4,000 to travel and to sign into whatever conference they'd like to. Dealing with money was something that I did not know 100% about, but something I really enjoyed to read about and learn about my school. Our average daily attendance is about 6,300 per student per year. This is how my school has forced its budget and made its budget over the years. We settle our budget at 95% rate, making sure that 95% of our students are there every single day. So this has been a focus of me for the school, is to make sure that our students understand how important it is to be at school. One, because of the money that it comes, and two, how it relates to their education, and how to make sure that attendance is always on the increase, and how to maybe get over the 95 mark. At the same time, we have Common Core money that's $150 per student. This is only a one-time money, though. We'll get this to help implement into our technology processes and what we're going to do to learn the new Common Core standards. Due to our population, we do get Title I money, and that's about $220,000 a year. This is money that we can use on anything. We do a lot of this tied in with our ADA. Our LCAP was $85,000, focused mostly on reaching the goals that we wanted to look at. That was attendance, parent involvement. How do we take that money and push it throughout the school to make sure that our goals are met? And our biggest one that is kind of under the radar is grants. We do a lot of grant writing to make sure that we have extra money to play with. This is like our after-school programs, things like that. Those are all usually ran under grants. We had the opportunity to interview two great people. The first one that I'd like to start off with was Dr. Ian Pumpian. And we asked him basic questions that all of you could read offline. The first thing that we asked, though, was what strategies have you found successful in technology planning integrated into the school district's strategic planning? What he said was pretty much building and collaborating with others, making sure that we have well-rounded support and that everybody understands where our goals are and what we're trying to do. Dr. Pumpian kept focusing on the idea of collaboration. Collaborating with other schools make us focus on what we're trying to do best and what we can focus on and maybe move forward from or to really get better at. Dr. Pumpian did a lot of professional development to help our staff understand how to push technology within their curriculum and how to better support individuals when they're struggling with this. The hardest thing that he said was making sure that our equipment lasts, making sure that our computers and our iPads and our laptops are being treated correctly so that they could last in the years that our students are coming through. He kept telling that this is a precious resource for teachers and that we have to make sure that we have this available for them so that they can finish the goals and the vision that we're trying to create. We also got to interview Alex Gonzalez, and he got to answer pretty much the same questions that Dr. Pumpian answered. And some of the ideas that he came up was the biggest strategies that he's found successful is using the same tools, making sure that all the teachers are on the same page. So when he's talking to us as a group, that everybody understands what he's talking about. We can focus on supporting one another. One of the biggest things that he got to put through to our community and to our students was in the first 4 days, and giving them some questions just so they can answer, so we could get a grip about what our students have. So some of the questions that he would ask in these first 4 days is, do you have internet at home? Do you have a computer device at home? Does it work? Do you have a mobile device? Does it have a data plan? Just so we can kind of get feedback on our students. Alex really helped a lot of our teachers get Leading Ed certified and focus on that. The biggest thing that he said that was a challenge for him was making sure that he had the right product, making sure that he made the right choice to support our staff and support our teachers and our students. The one thing that he said that's going to be a big thing for him and focusing on and looking into the future is a one-on-one. We're not a one-to-one school. We're never probably not going to be like that. So what does that look like, and how can we still support our students and our teachers even if we're not a one-to-one school? I was able to visit two school districts, Santee School District and Cajon Valley Union School District. Cajon Valley was a little bit bigger. They had a bigger setup. They looked more professional, while Santee was a smaller community, smaller room, where a lot of individuals wanted to speak about one project. El Cajon, or Cajon Valley, they focused on their population of what students are coming to their. The idea was to have cultural perspective about Iraq because many of the students were coming from Iraqi backgrounds and wanted to focus on that. I thought this was interesting to see because I do work with a lot of students from that background as well. While with Santee, it was focused on becoming one of the schools to become a STEM school, which Santee doesn't have. And that was a lot of focus on, is it the right idea? Is it keeping Santee united? Are we going to push too many students out of Santee? I really enjoyed that due to the fact I'm from Santee, and I got to see how the community focused on one another and make sure that this is the right move. Both places, though, didn't have a lot of community outbursts. They wanted just to get to the main points, and that was about it. While when I was sitting in the stands and I wanted to say things and ask more questions, I thought both of them were very great. I thought it was interesting to hear two perspectives from two towns that are very close to one another.